Hey, my name is Sarah. Welcome back to another episode of Talking Fast. We are back in my comfy, cozy living room.
We're in the apartment. I see a cat across from you right now. It just distracted me.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there's a cat in an apartment.
Not in my apartment.
No.
Oh, yeah. I will say where I live, you can have some good forms of entertainment by staring into other people's units.
I could just look all day.
Yeah.
I've got nothing at my window but a parking garage.
I like looking at who's kept their Christmas trees up for the longest.
Ooh,
some people
I do have
still
a neighbor that does
theirs.
that.
Yeah. You used to do like live updates about your
I know.
neighbor.
Well, I was going to do a bet this year of like, oh, when are they going to put it up? But they put it up too early. I couldn't even get my Instagram little poll up.
Okay.
Join my broadcast channel. You can
join the broadcast channel in case you want to see how long they keep Christmas tree up. And I'm sure there's chairs. Do you have a broadcast channel?
No,
do you have
I don't.
The capability of making one? You should.
I actually, maybe. I'm going to do a paid.
You should make one actually and post Facebook Marketplace finds that you find that you don't want to use.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to make a paid thing. That'll be a good one. I got some good finds that I can just pass along to people.
I love that. Okay. Anyways, we're derailing this already. That's what happens when I'm in like the comfort of my own home. My brain just goes all over the place. But with that, let's kick off with how we start every episode. What are you drinking or eating this week?
I'm going sentimental this week, Sarah. I feel like I've been on a little bit of a sentimental kick.
Aww.
I was talking to my brother the other day and we were kind of reminiscing over old snacks that we ate like growing up as like kids, what we'd have in the house, a little treat or something like that.
Okay.
You ever have caramel, which is, I said that weird, caramel?
Caramel?
It's like the orangey box. They're like little squares, but they also have little they're like a marshmallowy kind of wafer, but then a little caramel on it. I hadn't had those in years.
Do they still sell them?
Well, allegedly. I looked online. I'm like, yeah, you can get them in grocery stores. It said that in like the ordering apps. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to go and get them. Couldn't find them in store. So I'm on the hunt for those right now. But what I did find, you ever have Mr. Christie's like pirate peanut butter cookies? It's like a blue box peanut butter cookie.
No.
They're so good.
Is Mr. Christie's dad's cookies as well? Or no?
Yeah, I think so.
I used to eat dad's cookies all the time.
Yeah, I would dip those in milk. Those are like solid dipper cookies. But I've been on a little bit of a kick of like revisiting some of the old. Do you ever have like wagon wheels?
Have I ever had a wagon wheel?
Yeah.
Did I not eat one every single day? When I'm at Dollarama and I see them because
they've got wagon wheels Dollarama.
Yeah, and they're like $2. Last week I almost picked up a pack, but I knew I would eat like there's like 10 in a pack. I would eat all 10 of them in like one sitting. They're
of course.
So good. And then I used to like pull the chocolate off of them and then make marshmallow last.
Yeah. Okay. I got to get a wagon wheel. Best. But that's what I've been eating this week. What about you?
Okay, so I'm actually drinking it right now. If you're watching the YouTube version, like, comment, subscribe.
A sip.
Okay, so I'm on a sparkling water kick right now because I've cut my Diet Coke habit cold turkey.
I said this. I walked into your house and I was like, you offered me a drink. And I said, no, do you have a Diet Coke? Because I've never even really had one.
Just aside, like full episode.
And I expected you would have like 1,000 Diet Coke somewhere.
I'm not like those girls with the Diet Coke fridge. No, I cut it cold turkey. It was less about, that was a few things. Like one, because like I don't think it's necessarily great for me, but two, I would always like buy one and then only ever finish half of it. And so like at my old desk, at my old job, I literally had like 20 cans of half drink Diet Coke sitting at my desk.
Coke quarter?
Yeah. So I was like, I'm just going to stop doing it. But anyways, I've moved on to sparkling water. Specifically, I'm not like in a big like, I don't know, LaCroix, like any of those things. At Loblaws, they have this peach sparkling water that tastes like the peach juice from Tim Hortons from the 90s.
What is it? Is it like President's Choice brand?
Yeah, it's just PC brand, and it's like 3 for $3. They're like $1 each. Or you can get the mini bottles, and if you go and scan the mini bottles, only scan the bottle instead of scanning the full pack of 6, you can get them for $1.25 instead of $5. So anyways, they're delicious. And if you were nostalgic for like, you were talking about nostalgia and like nostalgic snacks, the peach juice from Tim Hortons from the 90s and early 2000s is nostalgic for me, and that's what it tastes like.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. Oh, that's so good. Okay.
Would recommend.
Sarah, what are you watching or reading this week?
I'm going to pull it up. Also, like if you're watching the YouTube version of this, and I'm just going to describe it for you that are commuting or you're in a car, whatever, I'm reading all of my notes off an iPad. So I look like an iPad kid right now as I'm like moving everything around. You're going to
be like taking pics of me.
But I'm pulling out my beautiful baby that is Onyx Storm.
That's a fat book. That's like a hefty book.
Yeah, I feel it. Okay, so I got into Fourth Wing last year on the 24-hour reading challenge.
It's a nice looking cover.
It's beautiful. And she's, it's gorgeous. Just as beautiful on the inside as out, I might add. So I got into Fourth Wing last year because I'd read ACOTAR first. Tara had read Fourth Wing first. And then for the 24-hour reading challenge, we flipped and like she started reading ACOTAR and I started reading Fourth Wing. And I read all of Fourth Wing in the 24-hour reading challenge and then started Iron Flame, which is the second book, finished it, was instantly hooked. So then I was involved. I was like ready and caught up for Onyx Storm I will say the one thing about fantasy is I maybe should have reread the books. I watched some YouTube videos ahead of time. There are so many characters that I'm like, they have a little legend in the front here that explains like every character, who their dragon is, and like and you know what that mean if you've read the book, and like what their signet is, which is basically their like magical power. And I flip back every 3 seconds because I can't remember anyone's names and what they are. So that's the only difficult part because there's like a million characters, but it's so good. I'm hooked immediately.
How far are you?
Only like, it's like I've been reading this nonstop for 2 days now and I'm only 20% through.
Really?
Because I flip back and forth between this.
Yeah, true. Is this fine print? Show me the print on this.
And okay, so it's not.
That's pretty fine.
That's
decent.
And then look, when they do chapters, they don't start on a new page. Like they start the chapter just in the middle. So they're packing
those words
it
in there.
Yeah, so I can't find an example. But it's like chapter 7, like most books, they start a fresh new page. But
if you're 20% into this book, how is it stacking up so far? I know that's
really
not maybe enough, but
so far. Iron Flame, the second book, was a little bit like of just like a lot of world building and a lot of kind of waiting for things to happen. This like had action from the go, which I love. And it's just like so funny, but it's funny now because I'm watching everyone on the internet. Cause like I didn't realize how many people were into Fourth Wing until this book came out. Truly, because like now you really see it because everyone that bought it like immediately.
Well, I also saw it. I haven't read the series. Obviously, I went on Instagram the other day when it came out. Yesterday, I don't know.
Yeah,
it was literally everywhere on
100%.
all of my Instagram
and everyone was
stories.
Going to like midnight releases of it and everything. It felt very like Harry Potter, Twilight, like when those books came out.
That is fun. Yeah, I feel like that
really
doesn't happen very often.
No, it's really fun. But I will say it's really cool, like collectively seeing so many people obsessed with it. But it's also funny because like now men are just discovering Fourth Ring. Apparently, like Nolan walks in the other day and he goes, "Who's this Xaden guy?" I'm like reading my book. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, why do you know who Xaden is? He goes, well, the internet's all talking about how like these books just describe the men as like the hottest. Like, how would you describe him? And I go, what? Like, this is like, what do you mean how I describe him? Like, he's just like described in the book.
It's a book, yeah.
And then he was like, well, the internet's just saying that they're described as like the hottest men ever. Like, is that true? I go, well, yeah. It's like, what? Anyways, it's just so funny. Everyone collectively like.
Are they making? They're making movies.
They're
obviously
making a TV series.
TV series has it been cast
series.
yet? Like, is there a
no cast yet? Script is done for the first
so there's
season.
no indication of who this.
There is rumors. There is rumors. I don't remember the guy's name, but there is rumors, and I think that's what's going to be. It's going to be like nobodies. You know, like they want people that
really
become famous because of this.
Okay, that's.
Anyways, if you haven't read Fourth Wing, I know it's very intimidating that all the books are very big and thick, but you should read it. It's really good. It's like if Harry Potter and House of the Dragon had a baby.
Ooh.
Anyways, what are you, I'm presuming, watching?
Sarah, I have a new book that I'm sitting and a crack open. It's a fiction book as well. I'm not going to talk about it yet, but it's ready to go. I'm excited. But no, this week I am watching the first season of Severance on Apple TV.
Have you never seen it before?
Never seen it.
Nolan just finished the first season as well and has been like harassing me to watch it, but I'm somebody that if you tell me to do something too many times, I don't want to do it.
I know. Well, I heard about that's kind of similar to me, especially about Severance specifically, because I heard about it when the first season came out. A lot of people were watching, a lot of people were liking it, and I'm like, nah, I never even gave it a shot on the first episode. But then I saw, and I guess the marketing campaign worked because you saw like Adam Scott, and I don't know the names of the other actors in the show, but they did like the in New York, the Grand Central pop-up where like they were acting in the little glass box, which looked pretty cool. I also am a big Ben Stiller fan, but like I didn't know that he directs everything and it's his show pretty much. So I started watching it. It's good. I'm liking it. I'm getting like Lost vibes a little bit. There are a lot of open threads that I don't really know where they're all going. It's a little uncomfortable to watch at the same time, like similar vibes-ish. Uncomfortableness wise to what I just watch, White Lotus. Like
interesting.
Like it's a little White Lotus-y. Yeah, White Lotus and Lost. That's the baby that Severance is.
Interesting.
I think. But I'm excited for it, and now I'm also excited because I've been all over TikTok, and people are like, I never got the inside jokes, and now that like some memes are coming out there, I'm getting them.
You're like, oh, I'm part
and
of the
I feel
club.
Speaking about like book releases where everyone's part of the club, I feel like I'm part of the Severance club.
I feel like Severance has like, I heard a little bit about it when it first came out, but now everyone's obsessed with it. But like the diehard, like it's like the same as like the cinephiles film bros are so like gatekeepy over being like, well, we watched it when it first came out a couple of years ago, blah, blah, blah.
I hate that.
I'm like, don't you yell at everyone to watch this show and then you get mad at them when they watch this show.
Do you want there to be another season? You need more people to watch it.
I know they already announced the season 3 though. Like they've confirmed it already. Hopefully it's not 3 years though between seasons again.
I love Adam Scott. I think Adam Scott's so funny.
He's so funny. He's also in The Good Place. What are we listening to this week?
I'm excited, Sarah. This guy, I didn't know this, but I don't think he has one maybe full album that came out several years ago.
I've never heard.
No, you're gonna like this guy, Rule. He's Australian. I think he's like 21. He's a kid, but he's coming out with a lot of singles. So I have to imagine that there's an album forthcoming soon. Really
how
cool
you
guy.
Don't work in music is beyond me. Like I know I talked about this last week, but like truly,
this is a song that came out in 2024, the end of last year. Cats on the Ceiling by Rule. You got to go listen to it. Okay. It's a good track. It is fun loving. In the heart of winter where we are, where it's so cold in Toronto right now, I've been playing a lot of music that like is giving me life. A little bit giving me sunshine vibes, giving me happiness vibes.
Love.
This song and Rule's music in general, great. Also, if you need a good breakup song or like just like sad song, Painkiller by him, that's like his top song that people listen to, is really, really good. I've also created, because there's so much demand for it.
There's so much. We can't fight off the comments enough.
What are we listening to this week? Specifically for my picks, I have the playlist on Spotify. So instead of Jacob's Songs for the Summer, which will come back when the summertime comes.
Obviously.
I've created the Spotify playlist. So you can go and find this by just searching.
What are you listening to?
Let me pull it up.
We'll make sure we link it off.
It's called Talking Fast, what I'm listening to this week.
Okay, so if you look up Talking Fast in Spotify, then
it should come up, and then it's just my name is created the playlist. I have everything in there, including a few tracks. I'm not sure when this is going to come out, but I have a few tracks for the next episodes we're recording that are already in that too.
It's only your songs.
I can add yours too.
I mean, it's just going to be the same old because all I'm listening to right now is Kelsey Ballerini's Patterns album.
But I feel like you also go albums. I go songs.
Yeah, I'm a big album girl.
If we combined them, it would be like Kelsey Ballerina's full album, Taylor Swift full album, Gracie Abrams full album, and then my like single song. So I was like, I'm gonna keep this one to just single tracks.
That's true. But yeah, I'm listening to Kelsey Ballerini because that's my next like big concert in February. She's coming to Toronto doing her first arena tour, which I'm very excited about. I'm very excited because it's another concert where you get to like dress up a little bit. It's like I get to use my sparkly boots that I paid too much money for the Eras tour. Get to wear those again. You got to get that
cost per wear down.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so aside from Kelsey Ballerini, what are you listening to?
I'm
this week?
also listening to audiobooks. I've been on the audiobook game. I know previously I've slandered audiobooks on this podcast. I take it back.
Okay, we also talked about this on a call, you and I, the other day, about you had a TikTok pop off that I thought was so interesting.
Oh, immersive reading?
Immersive reading, yeah, where you're listening to the audiobook and reading at the same time.
I was doing it with this book too.
Okay,
so if you don't know what immersive reading is, it is when you are simultaneoly listening to the audiobook while reading the book. So that like you're immersed in it and like you can't get distracted by like a sound that happens, or like when I'm reading, sometimes if I like hear the like fire like truck outside, then I like get pulled out of it. But when you're like listening to it as well, it like pulls you in, and then it gives your like eyes something to look at. Because sometimes when you're reading it, like, or you're just listening to an audiobook, you get distracted by other things, like whatever. It pulls you out of it. But immersive reading doesn't do that. I've learned actually a lot of neurodivergent people just do this as a way to keep focus on a book. So it's not like, it's like, I feel like annoying calling it like immersive reading, like it's this trend, but it is a thing I've been seeing on TikTok. So I tried it, and it's really good with fantasy books, because fantasy books specifically, like there's so much information and you have to really focus on what's happening.
Well, speaking about different characters as well, I feel like it's got to be easier. Did people do like different voices and stuff, right? So like you can kind of separate that way without having to flip back and forth.
It's also really good. So the book I was doing this with most recently was called Just Last Night. I read it years ago, and I was re-listening to the audiobook and reading at the same time, because it's like a Scottish author, so it's like, but it's set in England. So it was also good because it's an English person that's doing the audiobook. So I can't make up an English accent in my head when I'm reading the book. So hearing them do it, it just like made it easier.
Hello.
I'm not even gonna bother trying. So anyways, I was reading Just Last Night. If you have listening to it, immersive reading, Just Last Night. If you haven't read that book or listened to it on audiobook, you should. It's fantastic.
Okay, I like this. I'm going to try it. Sarah, something you did this week.
Something I did was I went to go see The Lion King.
Oh, we talked. Okay, yeah. Did you like it?
I was blown away by the costumes and like the puppets.
Yeah,
and
the way
it was crazy.
Mhm.
Like the music, you know what to expect. They're gonna be good singers, you know the songs, whatever. But like the way that they come in through the crowd and like
the bird part.
crazy with all like the birds flying around, and like we were like at like an end, so it was cool because then they come right up beside you, like the elephant and stuff. Anyways, I had never seen it before. Lived up to the hype, which not many things in life I feel like actually truly live up to hype of what everyone says.
Yeah.
I'm like, no wonder this musical has been running for like 20 some odd years. Like
It's also such
lives
a
up to
good
the hype.
example of like something that you have to go and see in
To understand
the theater
it.
experience
Yeah.
to really get it. And it's like that's why theater exists, because
Yeah.
speaking of immersion, it's like you're in this world and they do such a good job.
They're literally
of
playing
it.
grass at one point, and you're like, that's beautiful. Like the way that they're doing it, like with the outfits and
Yeah,
stuff. And then
yeah,
there's
yeah.
like Zazu, like the person has to play Zazu. Not only do you have to be like singing at a level and performing at a level that's like a Broadway level, you also simultaneously are like running a puppet, which is crazy because puppeteering in itself is like a talent.
Yeah.
So I just think everything about it is so magical, and it was so good. And it's now it's running in Toronto until the end of August.
Which is so like go and see
So go
it.
and see it.
Honestly, it's
Go
worth
and see it.
100% worth
I would
it.
go see it again. It was fantastic. What about you? What's something you did?
I went to the stage as well, except I went to Second City.
Hells yeah, you went to
I saw
Second
their new
City.
show.
Was it good?
It was really good. Yeah, honestly, I think
My improv
I've
teacher
seen-
directed it.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
I've seen the last 3 or 4
Mhm.
probably, and I would say that this is my favorite.
Really?
Yeah, they were really good, and also we had on 2 of the performers.
Oh, they're still in it?
They're still in it,
Okay,
both
gay.
of them,
Yeah.
on our podcast. So go back and check out that episode because I think it's good. They're hilarious. The rest of the cast is hilarious. The sketches are so funny right now, and it's
Timely too. They're really good at making them like
it's timely, but it's
relevant.
also not too timely where it feels like, there was one back in the day that was right after COVID that was like really just
Yeah.
talking about like post-COVID stuff, which is, I get it. That's funny. But this is, it felt very new and fresh and so funny. And the improv segments,
the best.
oh my God, they're just so funny.
It's the best.
And the cast is immaculate right now. So I would say go and see that. And we checked out the Bentwood, which I know that you've been to a few times.
I've been yelling from the rooftop that the Bentwood is a sneaky hidden gem in
It
this
is.
city.
Okay, like Oliver
If we were going to a
Bonacini.
concert or something too before.
Yeah, 100%.
Or a Leafs game. Bentwood.
Yeah, and it's a sneaky good location for all of the sports,
So good.
sports teams, concerts, etc. Like you just said, but also it's Oliver Bonacini who they run the restaurant essentially.
Yeah, and they also have like La Plume, Dorset, like all these like well-known
A ton of great restaurants,
Era.
and they do a really good job of like making it still a part of the show. It's
Yeah.
not part of the show necessarily, but
The
like you can like
experience of
have a
it.
drink, have dinner. Then take your drink inside the theater
Yeah.
when it's time to go and sit down. And also, I was looking at the happy hour menu.
No, their happy hours insane.
Is crazy. I'm like,
student-
I was like, these are 2008 prices.
As a student, I get 30% off too. Food
Oh,
and drink.
yeah?
Actually, maybe it's 50. Yeah.
What?
That alone makes like the cost of tuition worth
It's
it.
insane. Also, I had no idea that there was a second theater in Second City.
Did you know there's like 8 classrooms too?
No, I knew that there were classrooms, but I didn't know that there was
Yeah, the
one
second
directly
theater.
beside it. I want to go back and see that one. That
Last
was like on
time-
dating and
yeah,
stuff.
last time I went to the second theater instead of the main stage.
I like it. I'm gonna go check that one out because it was the first one. The main stage one was so funny, and I'm gonna go
Amazing.
check that
Well,
out.
I got my improv show date, so
We're still waiting for this date, Sarah, because we're going to release it to the
If-
Talking Fast
if I'm-
community and everyone
they
can come and watch.
actually you're not allowed to film it.
Is it on the main stage?
No, it's on the second. There's.
It's still a big
there's
theater.
actually 3 stages at Second City.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's on the John Candy stage.
Is that the
It's
middle
like-
one?
Yeah, the second one. It's
Okay.
like the one that's got like a
Well,
like a.
we'll see you there. We'll see you there
Orchestra
February 13th.
No, I'm not even in the
I'm just
country
gonna
February
keep-
13th.
Oh, yeah. Just going to keep tossing out dates until I nail it.
Yeah. And finally, Jacob, what is something that you're loving right now?
Sarah, I'm going to say what I'm loving this week. I made a TikTok. this
Which,
week.
I mean, last week we didn't know the state of it, and it's still here.
I know. Yeah. Isn't it crazy?
We'll
First
talk
of all,
about that later.
the
That's like
TikTok ban is a
ridiculous.
thing.
No, it's
Yeah,
stupid.
I
But
know.
anyways, so you're
Um,
loving TikTok as a whole, or did you?
Well, I made one, and I do this periodically. One,
Mhm.
it gives me a good appreciation, like a revived appreciation of what all of my clients, yourself included, do on a daily basis.
True.
That is like, it's actually difficult work
Yeah.
to produce something that A, is just a complete video, and B, tries to connect with an audience.
Mm-hmm.
I went thrift shopping. I got some thrift finds that I was excited about, and I made a little video about it. And it got some views. It did okay.
It did?
It did some good numbers.
I don't have TikTok on my massive iPad that I'm reading off of right now, but I will check it out this
What I was loving about it this week is that, one, the first half of it was the appreciation side for clients and the work that they do. You do. But then also sometimes I get caught in a space of like, I'm so on the business side of it and I'm so like just pushing the paper. But like way back in the day, I had a YouTube channel. I was producing content all the time. That was like just me. So it was fun to like break into the other side of it again. I don't know if it's going to be something I continue, but like this week it was a refreshing, thing I did.
I love that.
What about you? What are you loving this week?
Very basic, but hand cream. Look, I have never really been someone that like carried hand cream in my purse, and maybe it's because I'm aging and suddenly my hands, the second I go outside, I feel like they look
It's also
old,
so cold and dry right now.
and they age quickly. Like Tara and I were noticing in New York that like the second our hands were outside, we're like, oh my God, they look old, and I don't want old hands. So I've been using hand cream all the time. And I just love how it makes me feel.
Do you have like a go-to hand cream? Or?
Well, right now it is a free one that I got because why not?
Listen,
it's
hand
an
cream's
EOS
expensive.
hand
Free's good.
cream. It's an EOS hand cream. EOS, whatever it is. It's really good. It smells good. It smells like winter, I guess, if I was to describe it. And yeah, so I'm a hand cream girl now.
I've been liking hand cream too.
See.
I keep a hand cream in my glove compartment.
See, that's a good space for it.
The car, a small one in like your go-to jacket. Or a couple.
That's smart.
Couple
I know.
small
My
ones
issue
for
is I
go-to
keep
jackets.
just moving it around. I really need to just like have one per bag.
Yeah, buy a few, invest in them. I do that with like lip chap. I've got them. I think I have a lip chap in every jacket I own.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it.
I like that.
On the other side, we are going to be answering some of your burning, hard-hitting questions. We got a weird mix, so stay tuned for that. It just feels right doing voicemail from like the comfort of a couch.
Voicemail feels way better here. That's true.
It feels like it's meant to be just like we're all sitting, we're just like talking the goss.
Yeah, let's get some tea going. Let's talk about some tea.
That's all you want is tea on anything. And so yeah, I feel like this is like the new like setting for voicemail.
I like it.
Definitely.
I do like it. We got some good questions too, Sarah.
Yes. So I asked in my broadcast channel. So if you join that on Instagram, I sometimes ask on Instagram stories, sometimes broadcast channel. We really just source from all places. So if you have a burning question though, make sure you send it to us at Talking Fast Show on Instagram or myself, and we will try our best to give you life advice.
I do also like the email questions. We haven't got a good email question in a while.
Really good. Remember that like cheating one?
Yeah, I was gonna say if anyone has any like tea with their relationship, send it our way.
We should
on
have
Gmail.
like I should set up like an anonymous forum, and it's like reading people's tea.
But you know what? There are
gossip.
there are websites you can go to that'll hide your email address or send an email for you. So go to one of those websites, send us to our Gmail account, an anonymous little like piece of tea.
Maybe we'll do that this year too. Because Jacob all he wants to eat. But anyways, my iPad died as my iPad me and peak iPad Sarah, my iPad died. So Jacob is gonna DJ this segment.
I've got all the questions here for voicemail, Sarah. And we're gonna start off with an easy one. And we've talked about this a little bit, but I want to know what you're loving right now. We have, what are your comfort shows? It's the deep of winter right now. It's classic binge time. Okay. What are you watching or what do you return to?
I don't have any shows that I'm watching currently right now because I am really trying to stick to reading. And when I have a show that I'm binging, I like reading goes out the window. Some comfort shows that are always on for me though. Abbott Elementary has become a comfort show for me. I really look forward to that. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is a comfort show for me. And the reunion part 1 airs tonight.
Oh,
so very exciting stuff. Yeah, women just yelling at each other is a comfort for me.
That is wild to me because if that is on even in the background, I'm stressed out.
No, it's so comforting to know that other people's lives are worse. That's like all that. It's why
is that what it is?
The drama that they have, it just like makes you feel like a better person.
I think that I go the opposite way, and I'm like, oh, if there's drama happening, I gotta. In my mind, it immediately goes to like, oh, how can I solve this?
You
issue
like
for them?
secondhand stress.
Yeah.
It's too obvious how to solve it. Like that's the whole point. It's like mindless. Your boy Ben Stiller. Yeah, Ben
Yeah,
Stiller.
my boy.
He watches Real Housewives of
Really?
Beverly Hills.
Okay, well, I guess I have to.
And he is starting Salt Lake. I saw it on an interview with Andy the other day when he was promoting Severance. Anyways, that's a comfort show. Actual comfort shows that I would go back and watch if you're looking for something to binge right now is Jane the Virgin. Maybe not right now with all the Justin Baldoni stuff. Maybe that's a little odd. But Jane the Virgin's a comfort show for me. The Office, I guess, is a comfort show for everyone. I feel like it's a classic. I don't need to say that. New Girl. Comfort show. I just rewatched it.
New Girl
is a classic comfort show. And The Good Place is a comfort show, which would surprise some people because it's like kind of some like morbid like things, but it's actually such a comfort show. It's so funny. I love it. And actually another comfort show for me right now is shout out Colin Jost, who I have a ridiculous crush on, is Pop Culture Jeopardy.
Oh, interesting.
And now I'm trying to find the right team to form to submit for if they do a season 2, because I could beat half of the people that are on that show.
They do it team-based?
Yeah,
I've never seen
teams of 3. And they have like 25 episodes. They just put on Prime Video. It's amazing. And it's the only Jeopardy I've ever watched where I feel smart and I'm like yelling at the TV. And the cool thing about it being team-based is like, as long as you have like well-rounded knowledge of people, and then you'd be fine. But the only pet peeve I have with it is all these people are like clearly like movies and TV people, and then a sports question comes up and I'm screaming at they didn't know who Lewis Hamilton was when they showed a picture of him. I was like, what?
That one, dog. He's like,
what?
even if you're not an F1 fan.
He transcends sport. Yeah. Anyways, Pop Culture Jeopardy, if you're looking for like a comfort show just to watch that's like 20 minutes and it's just like really good to throw on like while you're making dinner or something, it's like fun little trivia. I would say that's my favorite comfort show right now. So funny too. I'm obsessed with it. Like obsessed. I get giddy. Speaking
of comfort shows, it's not a show, but something that I return to all the time. Speaking of Colin Jost is like I'll go on YouTube, down the YouTube rabbit holes of just like SNL,
like sketches,
most popular, sometimes sketches, but a lot of it Weekend Update stuff with him and Michael Che as well.
The best. Well, I mean, they're like when they do their
the jokes that you wrote for each other. Yeah, that I love
like,
those.
It's so good.
Same thing actually for other shows is like I love more comfort. Speaking of like the even deeper comfort than just watching The Office blooper reels, like behind the scenes stuff, because it's familiar characters, but then also just feel good vibes as well.
I guess that's also what happens is like for me when I'm watching a show, I find comfort in all forms of content about that show. I would say Bridgerton is now weirdly a comfort show for me. I rewatch Bridgerton all the way through like once a year. It's like comforting. I don't know why. It's just like, and then I'll go and watch all the interviews of all the cast members and stuff.
You need the ancillary media.
Do you have like, isn't like How I Met Your Mother your
How I Met Your Mother is my comfort show. Yeah, I was watching that recently. Did you
ever watch How I Met Your Father?
No.
On Disney Plus? You should. It was actually pretty good. If you like How I Met Your Mother, it's the exact same formula. And it was actually pretty good. And I'm still pissed that they canceled it.
I am a massive Hilary Duff fan.
Well, then how have you not watched it?
I don't know.
It's peak Hilary Duff. She's so good in it. Anyways.
Okay, let's pause this. I'm going to go watch the entire series.
There's only 2 seasons because they canceled it, so it's not that many.
What a shame for HD.
Disappointing.
Okay, we're gonna change things a little bit vibe wise, Sarah. This person is writing
this
in
entire voicemail is going to be a change of vibes.
It's kind of a up and down. Yeah, being in social media and marketing, we have to be online a lot. This person is saying, how do we improve or care for our mental health and well-being while having to constantly be on these platforms? They're kind of showing us bad news, politics, what's going on in the media, and so on. Do we feel that we're negatively affected by this very much, or do we try to find positive content on these platforms? It's tough to avoid negative content, I think.
It's tough to avoid negative content. The reason I started reading in 2021, like seriously, because like I read on and off growing up, but I wasn't like a big reader, is because I was just on my phone so much scrolling because I was like trying to find ideas for content that I was like, you need to like give your brain a break. And I literally started reading because it was a way that I was off my phone and completely disconnected. Because even when I'm watching TV, I'm on my phone. Like a book is something I have to be holding with both hands, paying attention to, and I can't be scrolling.
Immersive reading. Yeah,
exactly. And that's like what made me become a reader, was the whole idea of not getting all of my entertainment from a screen.
Apart from entertainment too, on the negative side, like, are you someone who dives into like news and
rabbit holes? I go down rabbit holes. It really depends. And I mean, for me personally, I can directly correlate it with when my period is coming, when I'm in like a doom scroll. Like
Oh,
deep
yeah.
dive. Yeah. When I'm in like a bad mental state, like the LA fires, when those were like starting up in like the peak of like the fires, I was doom scrolling like really badly. Just like it was like, I don't know, every conspiracy, like everything. And like, I'm not like doing it because I'm like looking for information on it. It just like happens. Like it's hard not to look away. So I really try not to do that, but I'm very bad at it. I did it with the inauguration on Monday. Like I was doom scrolling, but then I was also like scrolling funny stuff, but just the funny stuff, I'm like, it's funny because it's ridiculous and it's sad and scary. You know what I mean? Like I just like, there's no escaping it when your job is content, but it's just a matter of like having the know to like when to stop.
Yeah, I think you also have to like put on your critical thinking hat when you're
100%,
watching anything.
100%.
And I saw this take and I'm just like, yeah, this is such a good take, but it's so obvious, but I think overlooked a lot of the time, especially speaking of the inauguration the other day where all these, billionaires, soon to be trillionaires are sitting behind Donald Trump, who are in the tech industry and own all of these social media platforms, is that those people benefit by us getting rage baited and, going down the rabbit hole of feeling maybe helpless and this and that. But that's not really what it's like out on the street. A little bit it is, but like social media is not a good reflection of everyday life in the real world and how you interact with your neighbors or people that you're running into in work, or, if you travel and go and meet new people around the world, that has nothing to do with what you see on social media. And I think that like thinking about that critically when you're watching something and realizing this isn't actually a reflection of how the world is operating is important, even though that's so difficult to do, because, if you can open your phone and watch someone making a really good recipe that you're going to save to your food collection, and then immediately the next video is, thousands of people's homes burning down. It's tough to regulate your emotions and like.
Yeah, it's tough. I would say 97% of the time I'm only watching like good, happy things. I've my For You page, at least, I've like really, I've built that thing from the ground up. Brick by brick. I've really made it like my own, in the sense it's mostly home decor, book recommendations, some travel, the odd thing pops up. But then the issue is when you do start doom scrolling, it just gets worse for yourself. So it's like, if you don't do it initially, because then it's just all your For You page becomes, or all your feed becomes. So you just have to like not like stop yourself from initially doing it. And then I find, and then it's also not to say it's like, it's also important to be like politically literate and like understand what's happening. And like,
well, that's the big thing is, it's like, it's so easy to just consume headlines and then ignore the wider story.
Not even just that. I was going to say it's so easy to like because you can like dictate what you're watching, like to completely ignore everything on the outside, when really like it is still really important that people are understanding, like, example, this upcoming election in Canada, like what does it mean? What are the people standing for? And that's not doom scrolling. That's just like maybe like educating yourself like on like the political system and like how it's working for or against us right now.
Yeah.
So it's a really weird balance of like, I want to like listen to what other people have to say and like use TikTok specifically as a platform that like gives a lot of different perspectives and opinions, but then also not make it my entire For You page.
Okay, let's jump, because there's another question. It's like, what's your take on what's going on in the US and how it'll affect Canada? I think that one's largely about the TikTok ban.
Oh, you think?
Yeah.
I think it's just about everything.
Well, I mean, it could be about everything, but like, I was just going to talk about it from the lens of the TikTok ban.
Okay.
To start with.
It's a good thread to start on. I was like, where do you begin?
Well, I was talking to another client this week about, let's just not even talk about what went down, how it left and then came back 13 hours later. And you can think what you want about the people that run the app or who it's going to be sold to and whatnot. But the positive thing, I think, is that if it's going to stick around, you also have then the opportunity to use that as a platform to reach an audience, to push your own agenda. And if like the people who have ownership of the application, whether it is, a national defense security risk, or it's sold to people that maybe want to push their own interests, it's like, you can fight against that a little bit by using it and getting entertainment at the same time.
Yeah. Like using it like and like the anti of the people that are going to be controlling it. Because let's just call it, it's going to be one of those billionaires that were sitting behind Trump at the inauguration, which was insane. I don't know what's happening in the US. I think Canada specifically is we've always had this complex with the US of being like, oh, like it's so bad down there, like whatever. But like, I don't think people realize that there's like some like, one, there is really bad things that have happened and do happen here. I mean, like, look at all like the residential schools and like, there's like so many layers to it. But I'm saying now, like when it comes to elections, like people think what's happened in the US can't happen here. And that is so far from the truth. And that is why it is important to, we talked about this last week. We're not telling you to vote for, we're not telling you what to do, but it's like, just make sure you're like paying attention to the stuff that's happening in the US and what Canadian politicians are saying in response to or who they align with.
It's very easy to go and look up voting records. That's a little boring. So if you just search that up, you can find how your local MP or MP candidate is, you know, what they align with and what they've voted for. And if you support that or if you don't support that.
Yeah. I just think that, I mean, like, whatever, I have my opinions on like, which are pretty basic, which is like, I think this is going to be a very long and treacherous 4 years. And I think it's going to be worse than the last 4 that said man was in power. But I just don't want to be naive to the fact that it's like, oh, but it's like totally fine up here. I just think that people still need, like, if you're like watching this and being like angry about what's happening, then like be like actively and politically involved here to ensure that like you can protect
because there are
everything.
There's a leader down there and there will be a leader up here that have their own agenda, but it's also like a larger underlying like cultural shift maybe of what's perceived as being acceptable. And I think that that's something that's been put on display with the American election, obviously,
100%.
and then likely will come into play here in Canada as well.
But what's crazy, and like we were talking about this just last night, is like how much like louder people are now. Like 4 years, well, it's more than 4 years ago, but whatever. When like back in like 2020 was the end of Trump's last like reign, for lack of a better term, and people were really hush and quiet on who supported him and whatever. It's just so crazy that like now people are so like loud about it.
Yeah.
And so just keep an eye out, just be aware and like pay attention to who's supporting who, what they're standing for, and then like what they are supporting by supporting said person, and it all trickles down. So.
And that could be honestly like one of the biggest recommendations I would have is just like being critical of your own friends. Like yes, maybe most important, like don't let any little thing fly if it doesn't align with what you think is right in your own friend group.
Exactly.
Whether it's someone, what they're saying or judging another person or something like that, call them out on it, because that I think is how we change votes certain ways.
100%, especially when it's like people that are like just thinking surface level, not realizing like when people are like, oh, it's just politics, it's not personal. Well, it's like politics is actually one of the most personal things like that can happen.
Well, especially when you're taking away someone's rights or
rights.
Telling someone that they don't exist.
By
Trump putting in an executive order where their state employees are only going to be perceived as being male or female of 2 genders.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that at all. And I think it's a very dangerous thing. And if that trickles down over here, I think that has a lot of negative implications for 100%. Just the health and well-being and safety of people.
100%. So I agree. Checking your friends is important. Just like it's complicated, but it's like there's doom scrolling and then there's like being, like I said, like aware of what's happening and like critically thinking about it and like just keeping up with what's happening. And I think especially with now we're going to be going into an election in the spring in Canada, just like make sure that you're keeping an eye on it.
Yeah, and maybe 2 elections, like you said the other day, in both Ontario and a federal election, which would be
elections
fun.
At once. I will say, I talked about this last week, didn't I? Dougie Ford's hat that said Canada's not for sale was hilarious.
Oh, the Dougie hat does look sick though. Honestly, I got to give him that.
The Dougie hat, that man is such a caricature and I do not like him, but that hat was pretty funny.
There was also there's a big meeting of the premiers with Trudeau. I forget where it was the other day. And one thing that I was like, maybe the hats will bring people together because he was the Manitoba premier, who is a huge NDP guy, and he was asking for an orange one because they only have red and blue right now.
Yeah, well, maybe don't wear a red one. Maybe don't wear a red one.
Well, that's what he said too.
Maybe don't wear a red one. Anyways, also say is the simple long route way of what do we think is happening down there? It's just shitty, and I'm sorry for anyone that's like feeling like scared or helpless right now. There are resources and people and organizations that can help you.
And take care of yourself. This is what I was going to say. That's what I was saying to a friend the other day. It's just like, take care of yourself first. Cause if we got to fight for some of our, I'm a white man. I don't really have that much to worry about, but I got to worry about it on behalf of other people.
Yeah. White
men, you got to be allies out here. And then also, if you're taking care of yourself, you're maybe going to be ready for a fight. I don't know. Is that too alarmist?
Do you want to know what though? I will say I did have and maybe this is like my bad hot take. When they were talking about like the US trying to take over Canada and if we'd have to go to war,
I'm ready, Sarah.
No. Okay. I had a friend that was over and she was like, I will fight for this country. I will die for this country, like fully. I said, my women's rights go out the window at a draft. Like, respectfully, is there another way that I can help? Like, I that maybe is not.
You know what I did? The take that I was listening to a podcast this morning and I did like this. And I was like, yeah, that's so true. Because it's just like if Canada was taken over by the States, a lot of Democrats there are being like, yeah, let's take over Canada because then the Democrats would win everything.
Let's not manifest that. I don't even want that to happen.
No, you're right. I'm
moving if that happens. But anyways, so you would sign up? You'd go to war?
Yeah, to protect Canada for sure.
Wow. Izzy, we have to keep this for eventually if it happens. I've clearly stated that I will support everybody else that does it. I would be dead in 2 seconds.
You think?
Look, I can survive a surfboard to the eye. I don't know if I can survive anything else. It's as far as my resiliency goes.
Sarah, let's change things up in voicemail here a little bit. We're going up, we're going down, we're going up again. Marathon prep. You signed up for a marathon. You also have a half
resiliency.
Yeah, you also have a half marathon and a couple other races. I think.
Keep forgetting
right?
about those.
You doing the spring runoff, an 8K. You got 10K in there. You got a half marathon in Halifax, and you have a marathon in the fall here in Toronto.
That sounds scary.
I know. Okay, I think we talked about this maybe a couple episodes ago, but the Talking Fast, Running Faster Run Club is coming back.
Yes, we're planning for March. Yeah, first week of March is when we're planning, and we're going to be doing it 2 times a week. To start, we'll be doing shorter runs on Wednesday evenings and then longer training runs on Saturday mornings. Those I assume will be a much smaller group.
Yeah.
But those, like, if you're looking for like the really big like group runs, those will probably be like the Wednesday runs, I would say, after work. And then Saturday mornings is usually our longer run. So we'll be training towards half marathon season.
Yes. And that is local here in Toronto. But if you want to, we might, who knows, maybe something happens in a few other cities this year, run club wise. If we tell us to do run clubs elsewhere, we will do them elsewhere. Yeah, let us know.
We'd love to. So please let us know because that helps us because we've been trying to pitch a run club tour forever.
Maybe a little Sarah Jenkins Talking Fast, Running Faster shakeout run in Halifax
That is a very strong possibility. I think we should 100% do that because
May.
The thing is on the Saturday. So I'll be in Halifax a couple days before. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, it'd be really fun. Right. But how are you thinking? Are you running right now?
You were about to ask me how's it going. I have not started running at all because I refused. It feels like minus like 20
It's so
something
cold outside. I know. And you're not a treadmill runner.
And I'm not a treadmill runner. Do you know what though? I was in the gym yesterday, like whatever, doing, so I'm focusing on weights right now, like leg strength, weight training. Because Nolan's biggest takeaway from his marathon was that he wished he did more like weight training because he felt like his legs started to give out and he just like couldn't, his endurance was fine, but it was the legs that started to give out. So I really want to be as like well-rounded as possible. So working on some more leg strength and that to prep for when I start running outside, which will probably be in February once like maybe it gets a little less cold.
You know what I should send you? I should send you when I rolled my ankle, but then I wanted to get back to running. My physio basically gave me like a return to running, strengthen these muscle things, which is like, in addition to weight training, just it was so key for like strengthening knee muscles, ankle muscles, like the little ones that like you don't really think you're gonna need, but then you get halfway into a marathon and they start to, you're like, what is that muscle aching?
Yeah, that's what I need. And so I'm starting that. I keep forgetting I signed up for a half marathon in the spring.
So you have a lot of races this year.
Yeah. So far I have an 8K. I have spring runoff, which is 8. Are you doing spring runoff this year?
I haven't signed up yet, but maybe.
Spring runoff, that is 8. Sporting Life is 10, half marathon in Halifax, and then the Under Armour 10K. I signed up for that one too, which is in June.
Nice.
So I have 4 races, like one every like 5 weeks right now, which is kind of good. Which I like to keep me like regular with racing, because then I need to be working towards something else. I will not run. It's just the reality, and we already learned that last year when I barely ran. So. But run clubs also help me, and that's also part of the reason we're doing 2 a week, because they help hold me accountable, which is great. So
I know, because I don't have a. My friend Rich was he just signed up for the Toronto Marathon, which is the May one here.
Jesus, that's so soon.
And he was like, "Oh, do you want to do it with me?" I was like, "Well, it's 15 weeks away, and I haven't been running right now, so I don't know if I want to do a whole block like you said in the middle of winter right here."
But you could do some like long runs with him and stuff, I guess.
Well, that's what I said. I was like, I'll take it a little bit less seriously, but then get a good base. And anyway, I was going to say that's what I'm excited for Run Club too, is that you get you have to get the miles, you know?
You have to, or else it's like, I feel, because we also like run it. Like Jacob like leads the pack and I'm like mid pack. So like I need to be going at like a decent pace. So it's like I can't not be ready for it. 100%. So looking forward to run clubs. We're going to try to do more giveaways and more partners this year. So if you came out to them last year, please come out to them again this year, because they're going to be super fun.
And they were good. Yeah. Like we had some good groups. I think we capped. There was a day we had like 50 or
that
60
was like
people
60.
or
60 was our highest. It was our first Wednesday run.
And then we solidly, I would say, have like 15 plus
at
maybe.
least. Yeah. I'd say if we were probably doing average, it would probably be around 20.
Which feels good for a run club. I saw a critique of run clubs recently, and I was like, this is so true. If you have like 700 people in a run club, you're not having fun. You're not really meeting anyone.
Yeah, it's too big.
Ours is nice and
usually
low-key
around the 20. I find like the 20 to 30 is the perfect amount.
And I think what we're gonna do too, right, is like add a little bit more of a social aspect to it. For sure. Like maybe we start and end at a coffee shop or something like that to have little get to know some friends afterward too.
Exactly. So we want to become more of a social club. And then that way, like when we have like races and we're like on teams, so we can like do things after. So we're just like, we started it last year, and then now we're like actually like leveling up this year, which I think will be really good. But yeah, the marathon training is not started yet. That will start when Run Club starts. And
are you nervous? It's a marathon.
No, I'm not going to be nervous until after the half. Once I do the half, that will set me up for success or not. That will make me determine how I'm going to feel training for.
Do you have a goal for the half?
Under 2.
Under 2.
Is
it PR?
Yeah. I did 2:06 for the Toronto. Oh, granted, again, I really did not train well for the last one. So I think this one I'm already going to be training way better. And then I want PR. I want PR in the Sporting Life 10K too. I want a PR in that.
I think
I did 53 last
instead
time.
of training for half a marathon in the spring. I think I might try to target PR in the 10K.
Yeah, I'm going to try to PR in the 10K too.
I haven't done that in a few years.
I just don't like for the marathon. I have no goal for the marathon. My goal for the marathon is finish, stay alive, don't die, and don't walk a ton. That is my marathon goal. Ideally, don't walk at all, but I know that that's sometimes not realistic, and sometimes you have to walk to even get your legs back to be able to continue.
Yeah.
So I'm not like being so hardcore with that, but like my goal is just finish and finish strong.
One tip, I would say, if I was going to give one tip, having a few marathons on my belt now, is like nutrition plan. Get that down from the beginning. Don't do that late in the game.
Okay.
Like know what gels you want to take. Be comfortable eating the gels.
Yeah.
Have your salt pills if you need them.
Luckily, I love a gel. I love the taste of them.
Really?
And I love gels. It's like
how I love a gel.
And I love the taste of protein powder. Isn't that weird? Lots of people hate the taste of protein powder. Ugh. I love all those things. Anyway, so marathon prep is starting, and I know the comment had said that they're chickening out, but if I'm doing it, you can do it. That's going to be my thing for everybody.
Don't chicken out. Don't
chicken out. Just do it. You'll be part of like the top 1% of the world.
Yeah. And I was going to say, if you're here in Toronto, you have a huge Talking Fast, Running Faster cheer section.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully. That's why I can't die. I can't embarrass myself.
Sarah, this is a fun one. I feel like we should like text KJ or something, but do's and don'ts of flying.
Do's and don'ts of flying. Okay. Keep your shoes on. I don't like when people take their shoes. No, but I have friends that just wear socks and take their shoes off on the plane. I don't like it. If you're going to do that, bring a little slipper. I don't like it.
Okay, wait. Fast food. Haley and I fight about this so much. She would go and get a fucking Subway sandwich and eat it. Like get it at the gate. Take it onto the plane. No. Open it on the plane.
I'm not bringing like a meal onto the plane.
No. I think it's the rudest thing you can do.
I agree. I'm aligned. I mean, a Subway sandwich you can get away with because it doesn't really smell anything, but I'm not.
A Subway sandwich is the smelliest thing in the world. Then the whole plane smells like Subway.
I don't know. I think like that's not too bad, but I think.
What's the worst? What's worse than a Subway sandwich?
Like fast food, like McDonald's or that type of thing.
No, I'll take McDonald's fries over a Subway sandwich.
I don't think you should be bringing like any type of food that smells onto a plane. That's a don't. Also, you know what don't bring nuts onto a plane. Don't be an asshole that brings nuts on a plane. Yeah. Because it makes the people that have nut allergies embarrassed that they have to tell the people they have a nut allergy, and it makes it.
I know. I thought this. No, yeah, there was someone with a nut allergy 2 rows ahead. You know how they have to like tell around the thing. Immediately, I was like, oh, that's so true. What am I doing? Like, I didn't have any nuts, but like, what are people doing with nuts? And it made me want to like stand up and like fight anyone on the plane.
Yeah, it's like don't have nuts on the plane.
I'm get a bottle of water or like a ginger ale or something. If you have a queasy stomach at the gate ahead of time, bring that on.
So you don't like waiting for them. Gum is a do. Water bottle is a do.
I'll do like
always have a pair of wired headphones and wireless headphones. That's a do because you have to now pay for the headphones.
Are you pro neck pillow or against neck pillow?
It really depends. I'm a sometimes.
Okay. If it's over 2 hours, I'm neck pillow.
Over 2? Oh my God. I'm an overnight flight. It's the only time I use a neck pillow.
Really?
Yeah.
You got I have a weak neck maybe.
No, I'm overnight flight. I have a neck pillow.
Do you sleep on a plane?
Yeah. I can sleep while I'm
with no neck pillow? What do you do?
My most recent, when I flew to Florida, that was a 6 a.m. flight. It was a 3-hour flight, whatever. And I literally fell asleep the second I sat down, which before we even de-iced the plane or anything. And then I woke up at the next gate. And that was like probably 4 hours total.
But like, what do you put your head?
Well, it was one of those planes that has the little things that you can fold. So that I just can put my head like that.
No, those aren't big enough for me.
No, I'm fine with it. I don't actually
You know what
need
I'm nervous about with those things that fold out from your headrest and like kind of cradle you? The thing I'm most nervous about is if I nod off.
And then you fall on the person next to you.
Yeah, and like they're not, you know how sometimes plane seat stuff, they're like they're broken or whatever. Yeah. I'm worried that it's going to give way and I'm just going to fall onto my neighbor.
No, that's fine. Whatever. I'm pro neck pillow. I just don't think you should be embarrassed of like a neck pillow or anything like that. I think like that's sometimes. Oh, I'm pro sleep mask though. I always bring one of those because I don't want to hear or see anything. I don't want any light because people will put up their window or do stupid shit.
Okay, yeah. Wait, are you window up or window down?
Window down.
Window down. But how are you going to look down at the beautiful world beneath you and think about the miracle that is flight?
Any type of flight where people are gonna be sleeping longer than like 4 hours, window down. Because I don't want to like screw with people and like whatever. On like a 2-hour flight to Halifax, I'm like keeping my window up. I don't care.
Or a nice sunset.
That's
or you know what? The people that are like, okay, you got to bring the windows up because we're landing. Yeah. And they put them up. And then when the flight attendants sit down, they're locked. They go, putting that down. It's like, I want to see the city when I go in.
Yeah, no, I'll always leave it up when I'm like landing. Yeah. Other do's is if you can, just be a carry-on only girl. Or if you can limit like checked bags and stuff, it just makes the system at the airport so much better.
I do love a gate check bag.
I love a gate check too.
Oh, I love it.
Because you know it's going to get there.
And you're not paying for it. You're not paying for it.
I love a gate check bag. Don't be the people that stand up the second that the airplane like.
Now, sit the fuck down, especially if you're at the back.
System. It's supposed to be the people at the front. They paid more money, so they get off the plane first.
You know what it is? It's the people who brought nuts on the plane. It's like
the people that brought nuts on the plane and are like going, I have a connection. Yeah,
they got to stand up immediately to go to get their fucking carry-on full of nuts out of their.
So it's bad. And also don't be the people that line up and like huddle around the gate when your boarding number hasn't been called yet.
100%.
That also doesn't make any sense.
Group 4 when it's group 1 and 2?
you're not getting on the plane any faster.
And then you have to have the conversation. Oh, are you in group 1? Are you in group 2?
And then
oh no, I'm just waiting. Where's the line?
It gives me so much joy when I get to be like, oh, are you guys group 2? And they're like, no. And I go, oh.
You give them a little wait. Bye-bye.
I give a little like, what are you doing standing up then?
You know what? I never go for like upgrades or anything like that. I'm like a cheap flyer. So I'm always at like. But
do you stand up?
No. I'm just saying I'm always in like groups that you would not even think exist.
Like
I'm
17?
I'm group. Yeah. I'm group like double digits for sure.
That's a don't. I just don't think that's like worth it, especially on a domestic flight.
I can't imagine you are, but do you clap? Have you ever clapped?
No.
Nah, I wouldn't either.
Never.
Unless it was, you know what? I would clap if there was like a hurricane and we landed. I was like, thank God.
I would clap if it was the pilot's retirement flight. I was on pilot retirement flight TikTok this week.
Yeah, wait, the guy who gave out the trading cards too? Wait, have you ever got one?
No.
I want to ask for trading cards now.
I didn't know those existed.
I think it's United. All United flights have trading cards.
Okay, well, I'm going to ask for them now because I actually fly United a fair bit.
Yeah, and it's WestJet too, right? If you go to the States and you fly in WestJet, it's United.
No, it's Air Canada. It's United. Air Canada and United are the same.
Okay.
WestJet is Delta.
Oh, that's right.
There's so many do's and
don'ts. Do you
don'ts.
touch the plane? Do you have any like superstitions?
No.
I do. I give it a little tap on the way in.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Just so it doesn't crash.
Don't think about the fact that you're in an airplane when you're on an airplane. That's my biggest one.
You ever look at the speed and you're like, oh, I'm hurling through the air like 800 kilometers an hour?
It's not even the speed. If you sit there and think too much about the fact that you're in the air, it really fucks with your brain. And it's like, and you can spiral really easily. I've done it before. It's not fun. Like I really don't think, I just ignore, I just get into this vessel and I just don't think about the fact that I am
I think about that sometimes. If I think about that, I think I get claustrophobic. I feel like, oh, I'm trapped in the air forever. I'm just going to be in the air.
It's just easy to like spiral. So don't think about the fact that you're in the air. That's my biggest piece of advice for people that are afraid of flying. Just don't think about it.
How early to the airport are you?
Oh, I'm an early bird. Always.
Yeah?
I can't be like, I even have Nexus and everything, but like.
I've started pushing it closer and closer.
No, it's not worth it. It's not worth it because I don't want the stress. When it's like a Billy Bishop flight, I'm getting there an hour before my flight leaves, 30 minutes before boarding, because I will only ever have to sit in there for like 20 minutes, like sit down for 20 minutes.
Yeah, that one is quick.
That's different.
That's quick. Pearson though, major airport.
So hit or miss. Just when it comes to, and like they have all the things in place, like I check the security things, whatever. I just like had a traumatizing experience a few years ago during COVID when it was really bad that I just like am so nervous. My parents are always early. I'm always early to everything. If I'm not 10 minutes early, then I feel late.
Are you like I need to go get a coffee. I need to get a snack. I need to sit down. I need to use the washroom. Have my routine.
I like having my lounge access. I'll go early.
You know what? I think I've even had lounge access and I've never gone to an airport lounge.
You love free stuff. Why would you not love the lounge?
I would rip up that dessert bar too. You know it.
I like my lounge access. I like romanticizing the airport. Like I like romanticizing the being.
Are you music on the whole time?
Or a podcast or a show or something? Yeah.
I go music because it's like it's a soundtrack to my airport scene.
Exactly. I like romanticizing being at the airport. Obviously when it's a delay and I don't want to be there really long, but I love the whole process of like going, being in the lounge, having a drink at the airport, like being this mysterious woman, like where is she going? Who is she? So start romanticizing the airport and not seeing, I don't look at going to the airport as an inconvenience. Whereas a lot of people look at it as like, oh, I got to go to the airport. And they start off negative. Look at the going to the airport as something you romanticize. I get to go to the airport. I didn't grow up flying. I can count on one hand the amount of flights I went on. I went on like 3 flights.
Yeah, wait, when was your first flight? My first flight, I was 21.
Okay, I wasn't that old. But like I was like, I
didn't travel anywhere like that 11? When I was a kid.
I was like, I didn't travel like as a kid either. I traveled like 2 times.
Yeah.
I went to Disney World one time. That was like my first like big flight.
Yeah.
And then the next week I had to go to a funeral in Nova Scotia. And that was my next flight. So in the 1 month I went on my first like few flights that I remember. Like I think I went on flights as a baby, but we didn't travel like that as a kid. So I romanticize it because I'm like, I get to fly. I get the privilege of flying.
100%.
It's like a privileged thing to do. There are so many people that don't fly and don't have the opportunity to, that it's like you should like, shouldn't take it for granted when you have to do it.
Okay, last one on this. What do you wear on the plane?
I don't wear a matching sweatsuit. I know that a lot of people do.
Do you go comfy or do you go
comfier, but
ready
really
to roll when you arrive?
Depends. KJ and I went out for lunch last week and we had this discussion. I will be a jeans on a plane person. If the flight is under 4 hours, I can wear jeans on a plane.
Under 4 hours?
Because
I used to be, and now I'm sweats.
No, it's because most of the time I'm packing carry-on only, and I won't ever wear the matching sweatsuit again. Like while I'm in the traveling, like where I am. Like
I chill in sweats in the hotel though.
I'm a big shorts and sweater person. So it's like I don't chill in sweats.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't want to waste precious space. Like jeans take up a lot of room, or like layering coats or whatever it might be.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm also not, I used to be a big leggings on airplanes girl. I'm not. I wear like a track pant now. Like
yeah. Like almost a utility pants.
Yeah, like a utility
Good
pant.
pockets.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I keep my passport in one pocket. I keep my lip balm.
Actually, that's a good take. Having good pants that can hold your passport, where you have like mental confidence that it is in that pocket, game changer. I once wore a pair of pants that like the passport stuck, the pocket was too small and the passport stuck out like a half inch, and I was like, ooh, scary. This is
and a good sweater. Like I always wear a zip up sweater. Like
some
just
you
because
can
then I can take off easily, all of that. So I can be a jeans. I've worn jeans and a blazer on planes, like for flights back from Europe. Like I've done it all. So I don't think you have to have like the matching sweatsuit or whatever, like the aesthetic of what people put on the internet. Just wear whatever makes you feel comfortable.
This year, I think I'm gonna try to wear a suit on a plane. Maybe I'll go to an airport lounge. I'll fly first class and I'll wear a suit.
Okay, do it. I don't know what occasion you would need to do that for, but
you know what? Just life.
Just life.
I'm on the Sarah Jenkins. I'm gonna romanticize the hell out of it.
That's true. Romanticize the airport. I will say the best I felt in my life are those times where I knew I was going to like a meeting, or I had something right as soon as I got off the plane and I'm already dressed up on the plane. And you feel like, I know that's how everyone used to dress on airplanes. You feel important. I'm like, I'm the business bitch.
Yeah.
Who knows? Where's she going?
I do like that because there's also nothing dirtier feeling for me than like, and I do this a lot now because I have the sweats and maybe I'll change back. Is that when you arrive at your destination and you either can't check into your hotel yet, or you need to go somewhere, so you do it in the airport bathroom, and you do like the airport bathroom or the hotel bathroom change, and you have to like take off your pants, and you got to like dig out the set of clothes in the bag that you had, and like it's uncomfortable.
Did that when I was flying to London, and I had to change in the bathroom before I went on a little London day trip. That's where the utility pants, because then I didn't have to change.
Yeah, true. Shout out utility pants.
Oh, goodness gracious. I feel like this was a utility pant of episodes because there were so many different pockets we went into, we also, and dives on things we did.
We were pretty serious with politics, but then we also talked about the benefits of utility pants on an airplane.
Yeah, and like romance. I know, but do you know what? That's what you get. We never said what we're talking fast about. We just said we're talking fast.
Remember when we had the segment, what do you want from us?
Oh my God. What do you want from us? Wow. That was an era. I feel like we could bring that back.
This was kind of like that. What do you want from us?
What do you want from us? We're just like talking about everything. You asked for politics and whatever.
You got it.
But this is like how conversations like with like friends and stuff happens in real
100%.
life. 100%.
I hope that you listen.
Not that
enjoyed
this isn't real life.
It.
But yeah, I just, it ebbs and flows. You'll be talking about like gossip one second and then like the state of the world the next, and then why you love your hand cream.
Yeah.
So it really
I hope,
just goes
you know
what
my goal is that someone said like, yes, bitch, while like listening to us.
Yes, queen. Do you want a yes, queen?
I don't think I can pull that off. If you did,
yes,
leave it in
bitch.
the comments.
I love that. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe wherever you're watching or listening to this. Thank you so much. And make sure you submit more questions for voicemail because it's chaotic, as you can see, and we love it. I've been Sarah. That's been Jacob. Thank you for watching or listening to a new episode of Talking Fast. We'll be here every single Wednesday. Bye.
Held the note.